Hey, hey, everyone. I hope you all can hear me. I hope that I am coming through crystal clear for everyone. Everyone should be in the room with your girl right now. To all my people on YouTube. Hey, y'all. Thank you for being loyal. Thank you for following. Thank you for, being a part of my journey up until this point. To all my people on Facebook, thank y'all for being in my real life. For real in my life. It means a lot to me that each and every one of y'all come and join me when you do. And then to all my IG people, I know that y'all are happy to be back and happy that I was able to figure this thing out and bring y'all back into the mix. I promise technology, sometimes it can work for me and sometimes it works against me. Either way, I just have to go with the flow. And, just when things happen, I have to take the opportunity to sit back, sit down, and reflect. And that's what led me to the conversation that we are about to have tonight. So, welcome into this space. As I always do, this is the Sunday Sit Down with yours truly, Nicole LaTreece. This is the space, this is the environment, this is the place where we show up intentionally in everything that we do. Every conversation, sometimes it may be, a little bit curated as far as the topics that I choose to help me stay on topic, stay on flow, and to make sure that I always have some really good conversations to engage with you guys on. And then sometimes some of these conversations come directly from my real life or through interactions with other people that I have made. So, with all that being said, no matter where you're tuning in from, no matter where you are in life, join in and engage with me in a great conversation on again how to sit back, sit down, and reflect, knowing when the time is right to take a pause in life. I don't know about y'all, but sometimes pauses in life are a necessity, right? Because there are things in all of our lives that keep us in the space of just being on the go, go, go. There are people that I know that have been able to learn how to function amidst the space of being on the go and all of that good jazz. But I have found in my own personal life, and then also looking at their experiences, that when you are constantly on the go, 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 and you don't take the opportunity really to stop and, as they say, smell the proverbial roses, what that means is there is a lot of life, there is possibly many life experiences that you could be missing out on because you won't take the time to slow down. Whatever it is that you're trying to hurry up and get to, I promise that there is something additional, something like, in my own personal opinion and experience, there has been something greater that has come in the space of just sitting down, taking a pause, and just really looking at how everything is going. Like right now, I don't know if you guys have been following me, but hopefully you have. If not, hopefully you'll get started. But I not only am, a podcast host, I'm a Jill of many trades, as I've said in previous videos before. I am a certified mindset elevation life coach. I am the founder of Cake Doubles Homemade Bakery. I am the founder of Nurtured and Loved. I am, now in this space of where I am trying to get active back in my community. I'm a mom. I am a woman. I am a Pisces. Like I all out of all of those things that I've said, some of you may have stopped listening after the first thing I said. Some of you may have hung in there and stopped listening after the third thing I said. Some of you may not have been listening at all, which is fine. But all of that is to say that sounds like it could be a lot, right? And it can be if you don't know how to properly manage it and make sure that you take some time in between. Like if I just constantly did all of like try to do all of those things, which I have all at the same time, it doesn't come out how it's supposed to. Sometimes the pace of life can actually cause a disconnect in our own inner rhythm. Like your life is supposed to flow, right? While you're on the go, your life is supposed to flow. T-shirt coming soon. But sometimes that busyness, sometimes that hurriedness, it can start to be the environment that you facilitate the other areas of your life in. When you have children, your children call you to be patient. But if you're constantly on the go, 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 then you're in a rhythm of being a parent, of being a space of peace, a place of calm. You're hurrying your kids like, what? What do you have to say? What do we need to do? Where do we need to go? What is it that you need? They don't deserve that. You don't deserve to be that type of person either. So, not taking the time to sit back, sit down, and reflect, it could actually be something that may be hurting the future you because you don't know how to not be that person, right? As we go through life, the more we stop paying attention to how life is developing, we also don't understand that life is programming us to be a specific way. And once you get set in that specific programming, once you get set or that specific source code is embedded into your human computer, it is very hard, one, to track down that source code so it can be rewritten to allow you to perform at a optimal standard. Two, parts of that source code along the way could become corrupted because of the fact that it's it's not what it was designed for. It's not how things were designed, but society would tell us, oh, you got to make fast money. If you ain't making fast money, you're not going to go nowhere. You got to get this. You got to get that. You got to go here. You got to go there. You got to be everything. If you nothing, you really don't matter. Society already tries to download so much programming within us that if we don't pay attention to our own original source code, we won't know who we are from what society tells us that we should be. That's why it's important to sit back, sit down, and reflect. A lot of people don't want to take the time to sit back, sit down, and reflect because they feel like if they stop, albeit temporarily, if they stop for any given moment, they are looked at as being weak individuals. Like if I'm some people, not myself, but there are some people that I have worked with, and there are some people that I have engaged in conversation, life, certain situations with, that if they are not in forward motion to a certain destination that they've come up with in their own mind, that they're weak. Or if they've gotten to a certain destination and life made them take a pause for the cause and they're not able to get back to that same previous destination, they feel like it's weakness. Let me be the first to tell you, in those moments, whether you've been there and you fell off from it and you're trying to get back to it, or you've never been there, excuse me, and you're trying to get to a specific place, taking that moment to pause, there's wisdom in the pause, right? So for me, I'm in the process of scaling my business, relaunching and scaling my business at the same time, cake doubles. While things have gone successfully for me this past Saturday, yesterday, on this conversation, I sold out of absolutely everything that I had. Humble brag. Hey, I worked hard for it. But everything that went into the preparation leading up to that, y'all, when I tell you for the past several days, I have not gotten consistent sleep like what I am used to. So now I have this space of where I'm feeling like I'm tired, and I didn't even want to get out of the bed this morning when my alarm went off. So much so to where I still have more baking because I have a huge event that's coming up in two weekends. Not this weekend, which is Mother's Day coming up, but the one after that. But because of the hugeness, the significance of the event, I have to spend the next 2 weeks. Like I should be able to take a week off And then the week of the event, I should be able to prepare. I can't do it because it is bigger, it is greater than what I have done so far. It ain't the greatest thing I'll ever do. Me being me is the greatest thing I'll ever do. So that's already done, signed, sealed, and delivered. Can't nobody tell me nothing. But because I know that something greater is coming up in between what I just came off of and before I get to that actual point, I need to take a pause. I need to take some space to where I can sit down and actually write out the plan of what it is that I need to do in order to maximize, not guarantee, in order to maximize the level of success that it is that I want to achieve. Like y'all just don't understand. I prayed for a sold out Saturday, right? God is in the midst of everything I do, and I am not ashamed of it. But previously, my faith didn't match my belief in what God is doing in my life. I prayed for a sold out Saturday. Still kind of wasn't expecting for it to happen so soon. But God showed up and showed out and allowed me the space to sell out and also have the opportunities for future business to come because there are people that I met that will allow me to operate in the space that I like, not only just baking, but being able to provide for people who have food intolerances or allergies or special diets or restrictions, anything like that. I have orders in the works for vegan dessert options. I have orders in the works for gluten dessert options. Like, and then don't even get me started on the flavors that I can offer. I'm trying to be like better than Baskin Robbins with my flavor selection. They got 32. Okay, I want 32 plus one. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm coming into a space where it's just like I can't do what I did before to prepare. I have to do something different, but I don't know what that different is. So I need to take a moment on this Sunday, possibly tomorrow before I go to work. But after I get off of work, best believe, oh, it's baking time. But I have to know what it is that I have to do. And the only way that I'm going to be able to do that is to take the time to sit back, sit down, and reflect on what I need to do for my business to be successful. That was like just really trying to put you in the mind frame of a call to slow down, right? Society will tell you they actually glorify busyness, but they don't qualify what it actually costs you emotionally and spiritually. When you don't take the time to be still, when you don't take the time to sit back, sit down, and reflect, God ain't in the midst of whatever it is that you're trying to do. And if God ain't in the midst of whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to do won't be that successful. That is my opinion. That is my belief. That is my experience. When I now am in a space to where I don't have so much going on in life, right? Some people would say it's unfortunate, but it where I am now is a much needed preparation space before I reactivate into being a mom and having to maintain someone else's schedule and be the provider financially, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. Like I'm looking forward to it. Anybody who knows me, I love my kid and I cannot wait. We got less than 2 months before she'll be coming to move back with me. Even in the midst of that, of what I'm talking about tonight, to sit back, sit down, and reflect. If I don't take the time to do those three things in this season of me being able to be for myself, if you will, then I won't know the best way to be able to be there for her. Because we talk every single day, well, just about, unless you don't call me. But when we talk, I'm listening. I'm like, okay, like I need to pay attention to this, or I need to frame this in this specific way. So hopefully she'll receive it. I don't need to say anything in this moment. I need to listen and let her, lead the conversation, and we see where we go from that. If I didn't have the space right now to be able to sit back, sit down, and reflect on all of that, her experience, my experience when she comes, it's not going to be anything like it needs to be. There's a lot of physical preparation that I need to do, from buying clothes, securing schools, building routines again. Like, there's a lot that I need to do, and I understand that. But right now, God has afforded me the space to truly, genuinely sit down and just be like, all right, it's okay to let all that other stuff fade away. Right now, I just need you to sit back, sit down, and reflect on me. Ain't no feeling about it. So I'm gonna break these down into several different little mini categories that you can pull what you need from this. But hopefully this conversation will shed some light on, just the fact that it's okay to chill out. You don't have to be everything. You don't have to be all things to everyone. Like, sometimes you just need to be you, and let that be okay. And this comes from somebody who that wasn't the case. It is now. So the first one is sit back, take a breath, like, just right. Breathing is very relaxing. Breathing is a natural distressor in itself. Breathing is a very good focus point when it comes time to take that moment to just sit back. Like, intentionally pausing is what everyone needs to practice, right? If you have gone through school, most times, mostly in college, I don't know, there might be some schools that actually teach this, but when you are engaging in a conversation, right? And the other person is speaking. So, like me right now, imagine if we were both in front of each other. I may be coaching you. We could just be having, a good conversation, an intentional conversation. When you say something, if I'm talking at the same time you're talking, I'm not hearing what you're saying, and you're not receiving what I'm saying, because you're focused on your talking and you're trying to focus on me talking to you at the same time. And I'm trying to do the same thing. I have to be intentional to take a pause in what I want to say to really listen to what it is that you have to say. And when you're talking with someone, after they get done speaking, you're actually supposed to take an intentional pause to absorb what it is that they're saying, let it go through your filter and your thought process, and then have dialect with them from that point on. That's what a constructive conversation looks like. But also taking intentional pauses in life, like we're talking about, like taking a moment to breathe, can actually allow you to gain a better perspective. Anybody who is a parent, or if y'all like me and have a parent, that it's just like there's something about that parental dynamic where it's just like, if I'm upset with my kid, I have to take a pause. I have to be like, am I tripping? Did she say what I think that she said? I know she don't mean that like she means it. And I have to take a pause, because sometimes in conversation, it's about how I feel. I'm the one that's receiving the words, or lack thereof, sometimes from some of you people. But I'm the one that's feeling something, right? So if someone says something and I'm feeling something from what they said, it's just like, okay, a cooler head really needs to prevail right now. Okay, now what did you mean when you said this, that, and the third? Or being able to take an intentional pause to say, you know what? I need to pause this conversation right now. I need to take a moment to just take a breath and get my bearings together and see where I'm at from that standpoint. But I it's difficult for me to encourage people to do that, because not everybody is mature enough to come back to the conversation, right? There are some people who'll be like, you know what? I just need a minute. Like, we can talk about this again in a little bit or another day, and a little bit or another day actually never comes. So if you do not have the mature capacity to take a pause in a conversation and then actually come back, don't take the pause. Or if you take the pause, don't leave the space, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, wherever the disconnect is, stay physically in that moment and continue the conversation with that person. But with pick on the man, you say you want to take a pause. All right, cool. We can take that pause. So about that conversation that we didn't get to finish the other day, are you ready to talk about it now or no? No? Okay, but we still need to talk about it because I don't like stuff to fester. I don't like to be in an environment where things ain't clear. Like that's just the way God made me. I don't, yeah, that stuff agitates my soul when stuff is not clear. Sitting back also allows you to observe rather than react. So if somebody says something, and some of us have been gifted the ability to really see where a certain conversation or someone's certain behavior is actually going, right? So some of us, I'm just going to, kind of speak on myself. Some of us will let you run and run and run and run and run with whatever it is that you are saying and or doing. And we just gonna sit back and observe. We not gonna react. We not gonna do none of that. But for the people who are running and running and running and running and thinking that they are getting over by whatever it is they're saying or whatever it is they're doing when they engage in people like me, no, take your moment, boo boo. This is your red carpet opportunity. Best believe you will not find me in this space when you come back. You will not see me in this beyond this moment when you start to see beyond this moment. Lovingly and respectfully, I will leave yo where it's at. And I have done that. I'm not saying my cutoff game is strong, but my cutoff game is intentional, right? Because I love people. I really do. And of course, I'm in a pursuit of finding my significant other because I'd rather have significance than just another. I, my business partner is gonna kill me because a lot of these things they fit in this moment, right? But these are all things that we are putting on shirts to have out for you guys really soon because it's like while I love people, I'm tired of talking. To get the sound of my voice, to get the ocular ability to see my lips moving, to get my words is special. It's a blessing because I am intentional about what comes out of my mouth. I am intentional about engaging with people when I engage with people. But sometimes you just want to have something to say, right? I got something on my chest and I'm going to get it off. But it ain't going to come out my mouth, but you still going to get the message. QSNL Enterprises, t-shirts coming soon. I may not. This is one of my favorites because this is me, right? This is everything that I'm saying right now. I may low key be making light of it. I'm not. But it is just from the space of I know what I've been through when it comes to people. I know what other people are and sometimes aren't capable of. I may not bring attention to it, but I pay attention to it. So much so to where I said, go ahead, boo boo. This is your red carpet moment. I will not be here when you get back. When the award show is over, when everybody's clapping for you, because I observed enough. And instead of reacting, I responded by, I'm out. Sometimes that's the way it has to be. And when you are in a space of observing or trying not to react, like sometimes there are situations where people either engage in things that they say or things that they do, and you just need to take a legitimate pause for the cause. You may need to take a moment and an opportunity to be able to just ground yourself, right? You may need to be able to take moments and opportunities to where you can put yourself in a more mindful state. Maybe to say, you know what? I really feel like because this person knows how certain things, whether it's conversation or actions, because this person knows how this affects me, or they know that it does affect me and they're choosing to do it, they are choosing to upset me. I refuse to be upset. Take a moment, breathe to yourself for however long and however deep you do, however long and however deep you need to, and then respond. Never let someone put you in a position to where you react over responding. If you don't know the difference between the two, come on, let's work together. Let's have some conversations. Let's figure this out for you, because if you don't know the difference between a reaction and a response, you're not a whole person. If there is something in your life that can trigger you in a negative way, you're not fully healed. I had a conversation with one of my friends earlier, and, recounting things from the past, but it's in the space of how I've moved forward. And matter of fact, it was kind of on the same thing. Like a certain individual, like, sold a wolf ticket to say one thing, oh, I've changed and this, that, and the third, and I want to, build a life with you and yada yada yada. And things relatively were good per se, but then when the unwillingness, I'm not gonna say inability because for how long it lasts, it was you had the ability, but in the end the choice made was to go back to old ways. All right, I didn't even know those old ways, but now that I can sit in observance of what those old ways look like, and I know that they're your old ways because you're too comfortable in doing them, that's out of alignment with me. No, don't have nothing else to say beyond that point. No. Remember, when it comes to taking the opportunity to sit back and breathe, if it ain't a yes, it's a no. If it ain't a yes in their behavior, in their conversation, in what other people choose to do, breathe and tell yourself it's a no. The next thing is sit down, ground yourself. Some of y'all still trying to have these dang hot girl summers. Are you out in these streets? Whatever colloquialism you want to use for it, it's not cute. Sit down and ground yourself. If there is something in your life that is in misstep, that isn't in alignment, you need to ground yourself to figure out what that thing is. You may even need to come to the Clarity Coaching Collective to be able to get help to figure that out. There's a part of your presence in something that could be missing. There's a part of your presence that could be missing within yourself. If a part of your presence is missing within yourself, you're lacking your power. Presence with grounding helps you reconnect to your purpose and your peace. I've been lost before, right? I was a love addict, just really looking for love in several different places, engaging with people who just really weren't for me, being there for people who really weren't for themselves, like that regard. And then in business, just trying to do what other people were doing instead of doing what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. So much so to where last real experience I got out of with a certain individual. When I tell you the amount of peace, this ain't my peace. This ain't worldly peace. This is his peace, God's peace. It is the peace that surpasses all understanding. When I allowed myself to listen to him and to get out of certain spaces that I knew I had no business being in, the type of peace that came over me, not even just in that situation. And that was a situation of the heart. And anybody who knows me, if y'all go back and watch any of my previous conversations, my heart can be my greatest strength and my greatest weakness all at the same time. Before now, not necessarily in a bad way, in a trying and challenging way, my heart was my greatest weakness because, like I just said, I was trying to give it to so many people. I had issues with abandonment that I did not know that I had, and I surely did not know where they came from. Right? So when I started to be aware of, you know what, like my ex-husband leaving me in our race of life, running on a different, running in a different lane. We supposed to be on a the mile run together, right? I'm supposed to be one leg, he's supposed to be the another leg, and we just keep alternating when we need to. The fact that I experienced what I experienced, and don't get me wrong, like don't take this any way. I'm not blaming him for anything. He is a spiritual being and we were going through the same human experience together. We just went about it differently. But if I had known that I had the challenges that I had with my abandonment issues, I never would have possibly engaged in a relationship at the time that I did because I can identify that I was broken because there was a part of my presence that was missing. There was a part of my presence that I hadn't taken the time to explore. There was a part of my presence that I don't know if I fully owned it because I was continuously trying to give it to other people like, "Hey, I'm here. I'm worthy. Choose me. Why aren't you choosing me? Hey, I'm still here. Oh, you ain't talking to me no more? Okay, but I'm still here." Like, just that type of person. But again, that was a result of the abandonment issues that I didn't know that I was dealing with. But in the space of my marriage and all that, that's where the language of abandonment came out. That's where I began the process of grounding myself throughout the rest of my life. So much so to where now I'm able to understand what it looks like for someone not to be there for me and I'm engaging with them romantically. That does not work for me. Most people will talk about Gary Chapman's five love languages: words of affirmation, gifts, acts of service, physical touch, and quality time. Talked about this before. This is a part of how I grounded myself and hopefully how you can ground yourself too. If you're not aware of the five love languages, read the book, get it on Audible. If you have a library card, whether it's physical or digital, you can go to the Libby app, Libby Library app, you can download the book. I had to certain awareness, certain understanding of what the five love languages are, right? It'll give you a basic definition. But even still, once you figure out what those five love languages are, you have to figure out how they resonate with you, right? Once you figure out how they resonate with you, the work is still not done because if you are engaging with other people, and I mean intentionally engaging with other people, whether it's romantically, whether it's familial, whether it's platonic, you have to equip yourself to be aware of how those other people may receive love languages as well. So, what I tell my clients is don't just know what they look like to you, know how you would give them, how you would extend them to someone else. Because when you do that, then you're not operating from a deficit. So let me give you just example. My ex-husband's primary love language was words of affirmation. Still is. So we get into it about this all the time. My very last love language, if we're ranking them in order, is words of affirmation because I didn't grow up with them, right? And when a person grows up with a lack, there's one of two things that they really do. They either become comfortable and accepting of that lack, or they try to do their best to obtain that lack that they are, or have been experiencing. Like I said, I'm no different. I had a sense of abandonment from issues of my mom and my dad being divorced before I was one. Never really knew my dad, whatever the case may be, to where it made me want to look for love more in male spaces, male romantic relationships, right? For my ex-husband, it made him want to look for words of affirmation. And me, his wife, but it's just like we're yin and yang. I don't know nothing about words of affirmation. I don't know, where you know them from, but I know that's what you're looking for. My primary love language in my grounding work that I've done within myself, my primary love language is acts of service. Now, most people will look at acts of service as, oh, taking out the trash, putting the toilet seat down, like those types of things. I don't care about none of that. My way that I receive and give acts of service is how you show up for me, right? Because in a world where people are so for themselves, if you can show up, and I'm not talking about playing, I'm talking about the real thing. If you can show up for me, want to consistently show up for me, you engage with me, you locked in like Kendrick Lamar say, man, the right man has no idea, but you can ask any of my friends because I do the same with them. It's not just reserved to romantic spaces. How I am in one aspect of my life is how I want to be in the other areas of my life because all of them are sacred spaces to me. I'm not I don't make it a point to be in spaces where I don't belong or in spaces that don't feel right. They don't feel like they're in alignment. Like I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like when you get grounded and you pay attention, like in the quiet moments, like the stillness, right? And all of the chaos of the transitions and everything that has gone in my life, going on in my life, everything that is currently going on in my life, and everything that will go on in my life, you can look at it and say, "Girl, that's just it's chaos. That's life. Life is chaos." So if you're not taking the moments to sit down and ground yourself, you can't really see where it is that you're going, future. You can't really see what it is that you're experiencing, what keeps you from your future, and you can't heal from what you have previously experienced. Past affecting your present, what still affects your future. I don't know about y'all, but I don't want a life that doesn't look abundant. Like the Bible says, we're supposed to get to the place that flows with milk and honey. What does your milk and honey look like? Is it 2% curdled milk? Is your honey crusty? Like, no, what type of quality of milk and honey is it that you want? Some of y'all, it may need to be, hopefully not soy milk, but maybe oat milk. almond milk, pea milk, whatever it is that, float your milk boat. And honey is honey, unless you're allergic to it, but hopefully you're not. But it is all that to say, what is the quality of what you want the rest of your life to look like? And whatever it is that you want as far as quality for what you want the rest of your life to look like, you gotta sit down and get grounded here and now. Look at your experiences. Don't harbor on them. Don't let them overtake you again. Look at them and be like, you know what, in this situation, I could have done this. And be honest with yourself because it's already done. It ain't nothing that you can do to change it. Even if you're in that moment now, whatever you said 2 seconds before you put on this episode, you can't take that back because the words have come off your lips. But you can do better, do something different. You can elevate beyond that point. You just have to first want to. And the only way to do that is to sit down and ground yourself. We are moving on to reflect and be renewed. Oh, there's something about reflection in the healing process because reflection is for you. Reflection ain't to recount and to go over in your head 1,001 times what that other person did. If you are out of the space, out of the presence, out of the mindset of that person, bump them. Okay? You don't need none of that no more. If you've been granted or afforded the opportunity to be in this space now, feeling like I feel, like they sang my favorite song in church today. I am free. Praise the Lord, I'm free. No longer bound. No more chains holding me. My soul is resting, and it's just a blessing. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. I'm free. Child, when I tell you that song fills my soul, not my cup, but my soul, because it took some serious reflection on my part in certain situations that brought me further from that place of peace, further from that place of freedom. And now that I can confidently say, that I have navigated beyond those places, spaces, and people, baby, I have a joy inside of me that no one else can touch. I feel renewed. I am engaging in the things that I can tell are truly meant for me. Y'all know I be swinging out. I catch a beat anywhere and start moving, and then don't let somebody from my class or somebody from the dance space be there. We gonna cut a rug. But even if I don't have somebody else, I do it for myself. I do it at home. I do it at work. I be filling prescriptions back there, getting my steps in. And when I'm in class, like I just, let it go and let it flow. But all of that, my joy, the purpose of where I am now and what I'm supposed to be doing at this exact moment, it came out of the space of reflection. Reflection for me, it's a spiritual and emotional reset, right? True reflection is necessary in order to release what it is that you're not meant to hold on to. I know a lot of people will tell you, "Oh, just let it go." Y'all let it go. It come back and find y'all, and y'all be trying to engage in it again. And I'm like, for what? You already knew what it was the first time because you walked away from it. Why is you doing it again? I told my friend we gonna make a T-shirt. This is a different friend than my business partner, but it still remains the same. You owe you more than your sloppy seconds. If you leave something, if you have the opportunity to get out of something, you got the opportunity, like me, to fully be removed from environments that I once was in, that I know I ain't finna go to no more. Oh no. Y'all have to I don't even know what it would take. I don't, because I'm not, and I have a friend, and we run some of the same places before, and we tried it one more time, and just the Lord was like, girl, if you gonna keep coming into this environment, knowing that certain individuals are in this space, for what? You benefiting them because they still getting access to your light. and you just, having to purposely ignore people, and that's not what you do. This space ain't for you anyways. Ain't nothing in here that's gonna allow you to be able to thrive. Move around. You ain't missing nothing. You ain't missing not a dang thing. All right, Lord, I heard you. Because if I didn't take the time to allow that download to come in, if I didn't take the time to speak to myself, my self awareness and how I reflect on myself, I wouldn't be growing. I wouldn't be healing. I wouldn't be walking in my own alignment. I'd be damned. Y'all know I don't be trying to cuss on here. I don't try to cuss here. But this is how serious it is. I'd be damned if anybody from my past, anybody from my recent past, anybody that recently got cut off, I refuse to go back to those things because a decision was made in what it was that you did, not a choice. You chose choices. You chose to do whatever you did in order to not be in my life. You can do whatever you're doing with whoever you're doing it with, however you want to do it. You don't have to worry about me because you're not going to be able to do it with me. All of that comes from my space of reflection and renewal. I can't get to where it is that I want to be in any area of my life if I'm still allowing myself to be open to fools and foolishness, or if I'm being the one who is a fool or being foolish. Like, we dead in all of that because it's necessary. In this world nowadays, it's necessary. Moving back to Tulsa, Oklahoma after being gone for 18 years, it's necessary. Like, I'm from Tulsa, but oh, it's some of y'all be out here moving different. Or you feel like you're moving different, but you're really moving average. You're moving like everybody else, but you're trying to paint the picture to somebody who you think don't know. But I am different. That's how I know. But all of that awareness came out from my sacred space of reflecting and allowing myself to be renewed. Some people feel like, depending on their lifestyle, the lie of their lifestyle that they built up, all these kids, that they may have had, trying to get to the proverbial bag, whatever the case may be, a lot of people will feel like they're not worthy of stillness. You are worthy of stillness. You're worthy of peace. You're worthy of harmony. You're worthy of quality time. You're worthy of self love, self reflection, attention, the real attention that you feel like you need. You're worthy. God says you're worthy of it all. But for some reason, some people navigate and operate in this busy world as though stillness is a luxury, right? They look at it as like, the rich and successful people, they only like sit down and be still and go play golf on the golf courses and stuff like that when when they have amassed a certain level of physical wealth, like monetary financial wealth. But stillness is not a luxury, it's a necessity. If you are on the go, on the go, on the go, and I said this at the beginning and we're getting close to the end, there's a lot of life that you're missing out on. And if you have children and you don't take the time to be there for your children and show up for school functions, engage with them in intentional conversations, have still moments like me and my daughter, we'll just lay in the bed and watch a movie, snuggle up and watch a movie. Yes, the movie is on, but in the space of our lives, we're not talking. We're not on our phones. We're not on the go. We're taking a moment to intentionally be still and engage in quality togetherness. Like, I'm smiling because I look forward to all of that when she comes in July. Like, we almost there. But those are the times that, make me want to, in my own still moments, just be mindful of how I need to do that. Being on the go, there are studies that are conducted to where it's just like people are paid to stay awake for extended periods of time to be able to measure the effects that lack of stillness has on the human body, right? Rest is productive. Rest is a necessity. Rest is the space to where your mind, body, and spirit can just breathe, where it can take its own time to get out all the stress that you deal with on a daily basis, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, right? Because there's so much energy, there's so much information that is directed at you at one time to where you can't focus on it all. God designed our brains to do several different things all at the same time, and a lot of it is subconscious. Sometimes information comes at you and you'll retain it, you'll take it in, right? There are other times where information comes at you and you'll redirect it, meaning you could possibly store it or you could just, kind of not pay attention to it. You hear it, but it doesn't go, fully in. And then there are other times where information comes at you and you just don't pay attention to it at all. You ignore it. So like some people will choose to focus on my mouth and what I'm saying right now, and other people will choose to focus on the fact that I'm wiggling my fingers down at the bottom of the screen. Until I said something about it, you may not have paid attention to the fingers at the bottom of the screen. Your brain could have told you, you know what, that's not important to what she's saying. Let's go ahead and ignore that. Those are the types of things that come about in the space of rest. Your brain can decompress, unless similar to me this morning. I woke up at almost 1 o'clock in the morning because I slept good after yesterday's event. Tried not to, but child, 9 to 5, selling all day and having a sold out Saturday. Whoop whoop. Yeah, it take a lot out on the girl. But when I woke up at 1 o'clock, I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna change my clothes. I couldn't just change my clothes. I had a couple things that I had to do that I didn't do before I went to sleep. So now that I low key had allowed my body to wake up and start moving and doing things, when I turned off that light and tried to get back in the bed, my body was like, no, we up. Girl, what you doing? It's time to get this day started. Body, no, it's not. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. We don't wake up till 5:30. Body wasn't trying to go to sleep. It's like, all right, cool. We're gonna make this productive till you get tired again. Got up, started doing some stuff for my businesses, and by like 3:30, that's when I started to get sleepy again. So I got off the phone. Um, Light wasn't on to begin with. And when my alarm went off at 5:30, I looked at it, didn't want to get back up, went back to sleep at 7 o'clock until 7 o'clock. And when 7 o'clock came, I still didn't want to get up. So I laid in the bed, 8 o'clock, a little bit after 8 o'clock rolled around. And that's when I decided to get in the shower. And all of this knowing that I had a couple more cake in the jar that I had to prepare because I try to make them as fresh as possible, like within that week or a couple days before. But I knew I had a couple to get done because I had an order from someone at my church. I ended up being late for church. I walked in that door, probably around like 10:10. Church started at 10. I don't like to be late for church. I'm usually there by like 9:45. But walked in, still had an amazing experience. But all that to say, when you don't allow yourself a space of real rest, so many things can get thrown off in the mix. Like really. So much so to where you could be late to your own funeral. That's really as real as it gets. Lack of rest is detrimental to your body. Rest is the space where your body recuperates, where cells regenerate, where, um, like I said, your mind can download. It is the space to where actually your great ideas come from, right? Because whatever you're meant to get in the space of rest or your dreams, if it's worthy, if it's meant to, it will be revealed in your awakened space. I can attest to a lot of that. That's where a lot of these ideas that I have come from. But no matter what life tells you, no matter what your life looks like, no matter what society tells you, you're worthy of the ability, you're capable to take the opportunity to sit back, sit down, and reflect. I don't know about y'all, but this conversation for me was really needed to be able to kind of end the culmination of last week and be in a better place of preparation this week to where I can do less over the days, but still get the desired outcome for when my event comes. And with that being said, I hope to see each and every one of y'all. I won't be at the Deep Greenwood Vendors Market this Saturday because I do have to work. I do have a real job, y'all. Sorry to disappoint, but if y'all ever need anything when I'm not at the vendor market, then you are more than welcome to reach out to me directly at Cake Doubles on Instagram, Facebook. Also, email is cakedoubles@gmail.com. Phone number is 918-236-6437 to get to that sweet line. But I won't be there this upcoming Saturday, Friday and Saturday. But please, 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 I encourage each and every one of you, go out and visit the vendors at the Deep Greenwood Vendors Market. Like there are so many amazing vendors that have t-shirts and fashion clothes, and we have several food vendors that come. Country Queen, you know, she's out there. Kenny's Kitchen, Jolisa, Dee Dee, well, both Dee Dees. Yeah, you just never know who you're gonna catch while they're out there. But go out there and support your local vendors because they're right here in our community, and they're the ones that are trying to make a difference and trying to revive the spirit of Greenwood, the original Black Wall Street, into our day and time. I will be out there the 17th of May is a Black Biker Rally weekend. Cake Doubles will be out there. I will have, what do we settle on? I say we because my daughter helps me run this business. I will have 10 different flavors. I think about seven of them y'all have experienced before. The other three, I have two alcohol infused flavors that I am going to reintroduce, or well, introduce y'all to. Houston, they know about that from me out there, but I'm planning on introducing them to you guys out here. And then one, new flavor. I adhere, like I said, to all dietary restrictions and lifestyles. If you're vegan, vegetarian, depending on what your level of vegetarianism is, um, diabetic friendly, keto friendly. I don't think I've done anything paleo. Gluten intolerances, nut allergies. Like I love being in those spaces and providing sweet treats to any and everyone at Cake Doubles. It's where I feel like every bite should taste like home, not send you home. So make sure that you guys are coming out to the Deep Greenwood Vendors Market. Shout out to everyone who puts that on each and every Saturday, Friday and Saturday. It's a really good opportunity to just see what the community has to offer. I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, follow, tweet, do all of those good things. Help me to get this message out because I really do believe nowadays we need to start operating in the space where wholeness becomes a lifestyle. That is what I strive to do every day in every engagement that I have with anyone. I'm intentional. Even if I have to dismiss someone, I will let them know, hey, these are the reasons why. I wish you guys best, and don't talk to me no more. Like it's just really that simple. But yeah, so just stay tuned. Follow me, my personal on social media, Nicole LaTreece, pretty much everywhere. I think Instagram is Nicole_LaTreece. Forever Nicole LaTreece on YouTube. And y'all know it's just regular Nicole LaTreece, not regular, but don't get it twisted. The name is just Nicole LaTreece here on Facebook. But I'm looking forward to bringing y'all some amazing content. some delicious sweet treats. Somebody out here trying to get me to get my candles back in the mix. Just stay tuned. You'll see a lot coming from your girl here over the next couple of months. And then once my mini me comes home, baby, Tulsa, look out. We taking over. We gonna run with it. But I love each and every one of y'all. Thank y'all sincerely for tuning in and joining me on this episode of the Sunday Sit Down with yours truly, Nicole LaTreece. As always, I really mean this when I say it. This ain't just my closing tag. It is a declaration for your life. Please go out and live. Don't try, live a good life filled with real love and all of the above. Until next time, I love each and every one of y'all, and I'll see y'all soon.